Hello everyone, welcome to my Metadata Perspective channel. In today's video, we'll be looking at how to use the MySQL count function, the average function, sum, minimum and maximum functions. The MySQL count functions returns the number of rows that matches a specified criteria, and this is syntax: select count and open brackets to place in the column name which you want to count the values from the table name, and you can add in your where condition if you decide to or not. And we should also take note that when using this count function, no values are not counted. So let me go ahead and run our SQL query to get our cardio data table which we'll be using. Okay, now I'll be writing in a query to count the number of patient ID we have in this table. I'll be using this syntax, which is select count, and the name of the column which we'll be counting is ID from the cardio data table. So if we go ahead and run this query, you can see that we have 70,000 patient ID, which is actually equals to the number of rows we have on this data set. Like I said previously, we can also use a where clause to limit our query. So I can go ahead and say where gender equals to, here 2 signifies female for our table. So let's run this. So you can see we have 24,470 rows where our patient ID are female. Okay, so that's how you use the count function. The next thing we'll be looking at is how we can use the average function, and the average function returns the average value of a numeric column. The syntax of using the average function is the same as using the count function. The difference is you just have to replace count with average. So let's go ahead and run our table again. Okay, so we'll be looking at the average age of this patient. Okay, so we said we're looking at the average age. So let's go ahead and run this. We have all 19,468. So these age values were already calculated in days, so this is like giving us 19,468 days. Yeah, so let's go ahead and run this again. So in place of age, we can decide to look at, okay, let's use the height and see what's the average height value. So if we run this, so the average height we have here is 164.3. so that's how you use the average function. And just like we explained earlier, you can also add in a where clause and all that when you are using the average function. So the next function we'll be looking at is the sum function, and the sum function returns the total sum of a numeric column Okay, so let's write a function to explain how we can make use of the sum function. So we have the weight column, and we can calculate what was the total weight that was gotten for all patients. So we can say, let's just do this as an example. Sum the weight so what we are saying is you go ahead and add this value, which is patient ID 0 with 62, value of weight to 85, and to the next value, which is 64, and that's just go ahead and calculate all the weight values and give us a sum of it. So if we do that, this is what we are going to get. So that's how the sum function can be used. And we should also take note that when making use of average functions, sum functions, and all that, they don't put in null values into consideration. They don't count the null values inclusive. So other functions we'll be looking at is the minimum function and the max function. The main function returns the smallest value of the selected column, while the max function returns the largest value of the selected column. So just like we used previously, same syntax, you write your select, your min, and you open a bracket to place in the column which you want to see the minimum function or the maximum function. So if you want to get the minimum weight value, and let's go ahead and run this. So the minimum weight value we had for our patient is 10, and if we want to get the maximum weight value, same syntax, our maximum weight value, if we guide around this query, is 200. So let's do a brief recap of what we've learned. So in our today's class, we talked about how we can use the count function, and we said the count function returns the number of rows that matches a specified column, and I showed you the syntax for using the count function, which is select, count, open bracket, place the names of the column which you want to count from the table name, and you can also add in your well condition in it. And we should also take note that null values are not counted. Then next we went ahead to talk about the average function, and we said the average function returns the average value of a numeric column. And we also said that this average function uses the same syntax just like the count function. And we also talked about the sum function. We said the sum function returns the total number of sum of a numeric column. And we went ahead and looked at the min and the max function. We said the minimum function returns the smallest value of the selected column, while the maximum function returns the maximum value of a selected column. And we also did examples looking at the various functions. So this brings us to the end of our class. Drop your comments and questions on the comment section, as I'll be answering all questions. Please like, subscribe to my channel if you found this video helpful. Bye, and see you on the next video.